Hey y'all, it's Matt with Cruises, Rooms, and Reviews. We're back on Oasis of the Seas, and this cruise we're in a junior suite, room 8240. So if you've seen some of our previous reviews of rooms on this ship, we've stayed a lot up on the 14th deck. But for this cruise, we tried to do something a little bit different, and so we moved down to the 8th floor in a junior suite, which you'll see is fairly similar to the other rooms, but we'll definitely show you some of the details of this particular junior suite. But we also wanted to get an idea of what a change in location would be like for us. So we will go over some of that through the course of the video, but let's get to the room. Let's check it out. Okay, as I said, 8240. If you look down the hallway, hard to see, but we're not very far from the main. You can see the people way down there going in. It's not very far from the main elevator, or I should say the aft elevators. But it is a bit of a walk from the forward elevators. So we'll head on in. As you come in, of course, you have your muster station, and your muster station for this room is Deck 5, E2, which is Cafe Promenade. Future reference. Of course, you also have your magnet. Now, one thing that's different since the last time we were on Oasis a month ago is usually you have one single magnet with two sides. One says sleeping off the adventure, which is saying please do not disturb, and then also out catching thrills, which is your indicator to notify your room attendant you'd like your room cleaned up in the morning and evening. They've replaced that one with two, so now you just pick from one or the other. So no major change, you just need to pick the right one. You will have your bathroom door on your left as you come in, and then your closet door to your right as you enter the room. You have your master switch for the room. As we've pointed out before, these blue stickers are fairly new. Makes it far less confusing as to what this switch is, even though it did say master switch underneath, but it was a blank white switch. These are your actual room lighting controls. And then on this side, you do have your room, your bathroom light control, and your HVAC control, standard ship dial, as you can see. And you have a nice floor all the way up to the ceiling mirror. And then we'll move into the main part of the room. So as you can now see, the bed is on the left, vanity on the right, bed closer to the door. So the bed area, very comfortable bed. I would say the pillows in this room have not been good as in other junior suites, but the bed itself, they tend to be fairly firm, but I do like a firm bed. It's better for my back. Same comfort level you'd see in any junior suite. It is the Royal King, which is two twins pushed together, so not quite a full-size king, but pretty close. And the standard artwork you'll see above. So end table here, interestingly, so as you've seen in other Oasis class rooms, you have the three shelves. They're very open, so very easy to knock things off, but also very easy to get to them and no rattling drawers. Consider usually this table is sitting over there, nestled in that nook right there, and right up against the bed. Someone actually moved it over here out and close to the wall. I've actually enjoyed that. You have the wall to keep things against and keep things from falling off, and it gives you a little more space, and maybe if you have a drink up there's less chance for you to knock it off with a pillow or something like that. We've got a charger there. I'll tell you more about that in a minute. Of course, we have your standard reading light. And now we'll hop over to this side of the bed. Same type of table. You can see here you don't have room because you have the sofa on one side and the bed on the other. So you don't have an opportunity to move this one anywhere. This is where you'll find your phone. This phone does not have any USB charging points on it. You have a dimmer for the room and your lighting control. In fact, let's see if we can make it a little lighter in here. Hey, there we go. You have your other reading light. One thing to show, as you've seen in most Oasis classrooms, let's pull this out. I said I would talk about the charging. Sorry, you see some cables there. That one black one is for the telephone. There we are. There is one single US outlet down here behind the bed. And I have seen this in junior suites, I've seen this in balcony rooms, and I've seen this in interior rooms. I missed it in some of my original reviews of those rooms, but they do have this outlet here along next to the telephone data port, which is very handy if you want to charge devices. So I have plugged in there a USB-C and USB-A power brick, and I've got two USB-C cables, lightning cables. So this red one running over here that my wife's using to charge her iPhone. And then I have the, I guess, silver or gray, silver colored one. That is a 10-foot cable. First time I've done this and used this, running over here. So that's the cable that's running right there. And that plugs into my nice little handy charging center. This is an Apple One that uses the wireless magnetic charging, I think MagSafe they call it, and has a watch charger. So I have found that quite a convenient setup to have in lieu of outlets on both sides of the bed. Let me put this back. Moving on. Here is the sofa area. One thing to point out, this is a pull-out bed. My son's been sleeping on that at night. Of course, you have some nice artwork and a room light there. One thing to call out, I wish they do on Oasis, you see, we have this curtain that can divide the room. It'll go all the way across and completely cut the room in half. So if you need some privacy or someone's sleeping over here and you really want to keep things separate, you have that option. One thing I wish they would do is, you see, put this back, it just kind of, it cuts things off a bit between the sofa and here. I've seen on other ships where they've had a band that gathers this up and kind of holds it against the wall, so you get less of that division of the room. Very open space, plenty of room to move about. You do have a table here with some shelving underneath and a nice comfortable chair, that's the word. Over here in the corner, just want to point out, you do have a control for your outside balcony light. You do have the odd shelf that they put here, but good place for storage, another mirror. And let's move on to the vanity area. First thing you'll encounter is the very large cabinet. Always a big fan of these. Tons of storage for your items. We're on a 9-night cruise for this one, so have to bring a little bit more than we usually do. So good to have plenty of storage available, and that's, you know, always the theme of a junior suite for me, is the storage that is available is wonderful. This is where you'll also find your ship safe. It is definitely one of the ones on the smaller side, but it does work well. Not sure if you'd get a tablet. You might be able to get a tablet as long as it doesn't have a case or a large case on it. I mean, here's a laptop we have right here, and you can see there's no way a laptop is going to fit in that safe. It is there to keep your passports, your wallets, your phones, if you elect to keep them in there, any valuables you may have. So let's close that up. Moving on to the rest of the vanity area, do have nice, sorry, we've got a lot of stuff on here this week, a lot of charging items, but you do have a nice granite countertop. One thing I wish they would do, you see in other junior suites and other style ships, they'll have a ledge along the top, or the bottom of the mirror, I should say, where you can store plenty of things and keep it up off the main area, but they don't have that on this ship. Wish they did. I'm not going to open this one, but this mirror here does open up. There's storage behind it, and of course that mirror's on the other side. That one I will open up, and great place to store cosmetics or other items. They're not, as you can see here, I'll put my hand in. It's not super deep, but it is a good storage location, and that's mirrored behind that other mirror. Here you have your European outlet, and then you have two US outlets. I was about to say USB outlets. They're not USB outlets, standard US 120 volt outlets. You can see we have our adapters that we use. I'll put a link to the video that tells you about this one up above. You also have a telephone port that is unused. You have 1, 2, and 3 columns of drawers. So again, tons of storage in the junior suite. And this one, you know, it's just an empty drawer, but my wife uses this to keep her hair dryer. Luckily that wasn't hot because I just put my fingers on it. And then you have 2 deep drawers there, and same setup. Here you have your hair dryer that you'll find in every room, and tissues. And this one actually has the menus for the room in it. And then you have, again, your deep drawers. One thing I just wanted to show you on this one, some of these are a little harder to open. You can tell they've been beat on quite a bit. And then this one, you can actually see the front panel is starting to separate from the rest of the drawer. So I should probably tell somebody about that so they're able to fix it up before it pops off. Let's show you the fridge you get in the room. Standard ship cooler refrigerator that you'll find in most rooms. It keeps items cool, not necessarily cold. So something to think about. If you have medications that have to stay cold, make sure you call special services or email them and request a medical refrigerator be delivered to your room. Again, something they do on the Oasis class, they attach the fridge door to the cabinet door, makes things very easy to get in and out of that refrigerator, turns a two-step move into one step. Further up, more shelving right here, and then you have your standard television. I believe these are 40-inch televisions. Works pretty well. One thing, if I haven't put this video together yet, but I will soon, and if not, I will link to, if it's already out, I'll link to it here. Did figure out how to switch the HDMI inputs on this without the need for a special remote. Make sure you check out that video if that's something you're interested in. And then another shelf up above is where we keep our items we typically do when we go outside and go into the sun. So that's the vanity area, and that covers the main part of the room. You can see the windows to the outside, they are divided, so you have your main window with your door to go out to your balcony on the right, and then another window on the left. We'll show you that when we go out to the balcony. But before that, let's go check out the bathroom. You've probably heard us say before around some of the other junior suites we're in, you get these, you can see the light coming through there. There's a night light on all the time during the night in the bathrooms that you can't turn off. So that light bleeds through the top and bottom gap of the doors. Just one thing I want to call out, in this room, we've actually had less light bleeding out there during the night. Some of the other rooms, it was quite bright and kept a bit of the room illuminated. We haven't had that problem. You get a little bit of light, but not nearly as much. So if you need a junior suite that's a darker room, this might be a room that is attractive to you for that. But let's get into the bath. Pretty much the standard junior suite setup that you'd see. You do have the single sink, but with a nice granite vanity. You have some storage down beneath, so you have your trash can. One thing I noticed, and I don't know if this is just this room or this cruise, these trash cans used to have lids on them that you'd push your stuff down or your trash down through. The lid's gone, and now it's just a bag in there. Shelf, some storage area underneath. Oh, you know what? I just found the lid. Looks, you see how much I've opened up the shelving. Not sure why it's there and not being used, but maybe there's something broken on this particular one. But you do have storage down here you can use if you need to. And then another shelf over here. Back to the sink. You have that granite top, your soap dish, your glasses that we traditionally use just to store our toothbrushes. A nice handy place for that. You do have shelving on the side, so you got 3 main shelves, and then you have this small little pull-out drawer that we never seem to use, but I'm sure there's a use for it. Again, I always like having higher shelves, great for storing medication. And then of course you have your mirror, standard ship toilet that you'll find in every room, towel racks, and then the main feature of the junior suite bathroom being that you have a full-size tub over a stand-up shower. So you do have some nice tiling around. You have shelf on each side, a line to hook up to hang wet clothes from, though we don't really use that much. But it's actually working in this room. Some other rooms they haven't worked. Your shower wand, height up and down, and of course the angle you can adjust, and this has a button on it that you can press to get more of a massage type shower mode. The one thing I like, they're all kind of turned, but to point out is, as they've done in all the junior suites on Oasis, they don't want to turn for me today. But anyway, the Salt and Breeze shampoo, conditioner, and soap, which is great to have. We find those products work well for us, so we don't have to pack any of our own. And of course, your faucet, pressure, temperature adjustment and such. So it's a good full-size bath. Do like to point out it does have a bit of a high ledge that you do need to step over, but nothing like the Grand Suite that we were on. I'll put a link to that above. Grand Suite we were on Freedom, the ledge there was crazy. Like, if you were mobility impaired, you'd never want that room. Interestingly enough, we had really low pressure on the shower head, and we were like, oh no, is this room gonna be a dud? Are we gonna have horrible showers each week? But you know what? We just talked to our room attendant. He went and had maintenance come. They came, made some adjustments, and then we had incredible shower pressure. So just goes to, or water pressure, so just goes to show, if you have a problem with your room, again, just ask someone about it. Ask your room attendant, call maintenance, and they will try to fix it if they can. There is the bathroom for 8240. All right, let's take a quick look at the closet we have. Before you go in, again, you do have your switch to turn the light on and off, and then you open up, and you know, again, the closet is one of the main features of a junior suite compared to some of the regular balcony and interior and outside view rooms, just because of the sheer size of it. You can see from the floor space, there's plenty. You can walk in and have plenty of room. You know, it's not a ton of room, but it is plenty of room. You have a nice hook for robe here. Love the amount of shelving storage you get. So you can see you get this big set of shelving across the top. We're not even using it. There's a few extra towels up there, but we don't even use that space. You know, 9-night cruise, you can see how much we've used here. And then a very wide rack for your hanging clothes. As I said, plenty of room. Our room steward actually gave us this nice, very large plastic bag to store our dirty laundry in. So that was very nice of him. But again, you can stand in here, you can, here, I'll even show you really quickly. You can close this door and get changed. If you have people in the room or maybe guests over and you want to change real quickly and the bathroom's in use, you can run in here and get changed, no problem. I mean, you'll brush up against the clothing and such, but it's just a really nice feature that many junior suites around the fleet do have. All right, we are heading out to the balcony. So again, as I showed earlier, you've got, let's see, the curtains covering here. Let's try to give you a full view. You've got the main window and doorway there, and then another window over here. One thing to just show you real quick, you can see, haven't seen this a lot on ships, but on this one, the seal between the panes has gone, and you can see a ton of condensation has built up, and that has not changed from the beginning to the end of the cruise, all the way up and down. So it does create a bit of a blur looking out through that window. Show you the door handle. Open is up, locked is down. We'll keep that open. And then, oh yeah, also to show you, you do have a safety lock. So I think it's meant to keep people from coming in, since there's a handle to open on the outside. I think it's more important as a child safety lock to keep a young child from going out on the balcony on their own. Let's head outside. Slides pretty well. A little bit noisy, but not bad at all. Sorry, I do have some towels hanging out today because we went to the hot tubs this morning before everyone else was up, which was quite nice. But you do have a really large balcony. In fact, because if you see from the map, we're on the hump. So when the rooms on the hump get a deeper balcony than you get in most of the other locations. So quite handy to have. You can open up the doors to either room. In fact, the rooms next to us in that direction, I think they have 3 junior suites in a row, so they've opened up the balconies and just have this massive wide balcony between all the rooms. So that's a really nice feature. You got 2 chairs and a table on this side and 2 full-size loungers. And as you can see, plenty of space to move around. And then you have the fully glassed paneled railing, which just, as you can see today, let's just show you this. The Atlantic Ocean is glass today. You know, just some ripples, but other than that, it is incredibly calm, smooth sailing at the moment. So always love to see that. Pan around, get you another look at the balcony. We love the junior suites that are on the bump outs. Just get so much room. I mean, it's still a good deep balcony on the other ones, but this one has especially a lot of room. Just one thing to show, sorry, we do also, like I said, we went to the hot tub earlier. We do have our clothing hanging out here. Of course, we only do that when it's a very calm day. As soon as there's any wind, we bring anything in. But these are some magnetic hooks that we use. I'll throw a link to the video up above. So we hope you enjoyed our Cruises, Rooms, and Reviews tour and overview of room 8240 Junior Suite on Oasis of the Seas. Now we're going to answer the question that we always try to answer: would we stay in this room again? Let's go through some of the pros and cons really quickly. One, it's a Junior Suite on Oasis of the Seas. You just have to love the Junior Suites on here. I've called them the tweener suites before, and that's because they're a blend of the older design you'd see on some of the Voyager and Freedom class ships, but with newer decor and amenity and build quality. So you know, you get all that great storage, but you also get a bit nicer room, granite countertops, nice deep drawers. Really just enjoy the Junior Suites in these rooms. Bathroom was great, especially after they fixed the water pressure. I will say, if they'd not been able to fix that water pressure, we would have been like, no, never stay in this room again. It was horrible, because we need the water pressure, but they're able to take care of that. The balcony, huge pro. Being on the bump out, you get that much deeper balcony, and it's not, you know, it's not a ton of space more than a regular one, but it is good enough to make a noticeable difference. And other than that, just the spaciousness of it. It was a nice, comfortable room. Also, the light from the night light from the bathroom did not bleed as much into the room, so the room was darker at night. Negatives for this room, as I said earlier, we wanted to try the 8th deck out as something different. We usually stay up on the 14th deck. I would say I would not want to stay on the 8th deck again compared to the 14th deck. I mean, between not going and going on the 8th deck, obviously I'm going to go on the 8th deck. But we found for our style of cruising, where we go, the places we go up to from the 14th to the 15th, the 16th and 17th deck a lot. We're Pinnacle Club members, so we will have a lot of our meals in Coastal Kitchen, which is located on the 17th deck. And we're able to use the stairs and walk to a lot of the places. We like the barbecue, taking Ryan to the hot tubs or the water slides. Very easy access from deck 14. From here, you have better access to, well, 150 Central Park's right around the corner. You can also, you know, 2 floors down to the boardwalk and the top level of the promenade, and then 3 floors down to the promenade. We do enjoy going down there. We just find ourselves using the elevators a lot more than we're used to, especially going up to decks 15, 16, and 17. So from that perspective, not a big fan of the floor and the location. The other negative I'd say, and related to that, is we like the views better from the floor. We like the views that are higher up. So the views are still great from the 8th deck, don't get me wrong, but higher up, to me, better views. Also, being on the 8th deck, on the glass for the railing on the balcony, you end up getting a lot more sea spray on that glass. That glass is dirty a lot more than you get up on the 14th deck, so that can impede your views when we're out doing our favorite activity, which is sitting and reading on the balcony. When you add all that together, I would not choose this room again to answer would we stay here again or not. I mean, if it was the only room available on the cruise, we're in here in a microsecond. We're still having a wonderful time and it's a great room, but I would probably choose something higher up on the 14th deck. People always complain about, you know, or are worried about the 14th deck and noise from the pool deck up above, and you do get a little bit, but honestly, this room, we've had families that are spread across rooms to the left and right of us that have knocked on our door when they're not, when they think they're going to one of their own family members' rooms. Whoever the family is up above us, they have some very active children, so a lot of noise from that room. Someone was bouncing a ball while out on their balcony while we were sitting there trying to read on our balcony, so boom, boom, boom. It didn't last super long, but it just goes to show you can get noise wherever you are. So we have not found the noise on 14 in the rooms that we've stayed in to be very invasive at all. In fact, I would say the noise we've had here on the 8th deck has been actually more invasive. You put all that together, you know, we wouldn't book this room again, but that's only because we prefer to be up on 14. That is our personal preference. Don't let it be your preference. Make your own decisions. Hopefully this was here to inform you and help you make your decisions. Or if you booked this room already, you know what you're getting into. That's it from us today. We hope you really enjoyed today's review of this Junior Suite. Please do us a huge favor and hit that like button below. It does a world of good for the channel. And also, check out the rest of the Cruises, Rooms, and Reviews channel. Tons of room reviews like this one, but also tons of other Royal Caribbean related cruising content. And make sure you hit the subscribe button. This is Matt from Cruises, Rooms, and Reviews. Happy cruising, everybody.